Good to see everybody in person, right? Great week in Indianapolis. Really good to have the combine here again, and good to see people face to face. The coaches, players, all really good mojo. So really hats off to Indianapolis again and the combine and how we do things here. Looking forward to this process, right? This is a part of the year that you really start thinking about how we're going to get better. It's that next step. You know, every player is important, so this is a big part of the whole deal. So we'll dig in deep and get going for this year. Open it up. Yeah, every staff on the spot is so critically important. So really excited about, adding some of those guys. Mike Mitchell, who was here with us in 2018, really brings a presence, a leadership, a toughness, mental and physical toughness, savvy veteran guy who understands the game, the little game within the game. That's what I was really looking for in that position. Somebody who understands the game within the game, can connect with players at a deep level like that. Cato June, obviously I wasn't here when he was here before, but I'm really excited about him. Got to know him a little bit, did an internship with us. Very smart guy, our kind of guy. So, and then obviously the whole defensive staff. It's really come together quite well, and excited about it.
Frank, what are some differences you see in Carson in Indianapolis as opposed to when you're with him in Philly? And do you want him as your quarterback next year?
Yeah, I think, you see, I thought this year compared to 2020, we kind of got back on track, protected the ball well. Made some good plays. Again, we've made a lot of, on the positive side, we've emphasized the touchdown to interception ratio was where you want it to be. So it was a good step. It was a good good step from 2020. So we'll continue to evaluate the process. That's ongoing, right? We know in this business, everybody and everything gets evaluated every year. And the second thing we know about that process is head coach and quarterback are under the most scrutiny. So yeah, we're in the middle of that process. We also know this, a lot of good. I mean, we're a team that missed the playoffs last year, right? We've already kind of been through all that, and the disappointment and hurt of that, but also the resolve to get better. So, we know we did a lot of good. Carson did a lot of good. Our team, individually and collectively, did some good things that we need to build off of, and just continue to find those little ways that collectively we can get better to get to the next step.
Not knowing what's going to happen, but you've had 4 starters in 4 years. Let's say maybe 5 and 5. How does that impede the growth of the team and the offense?
You got to, whatever ends up happening, whether it's 5 and 5 years or if Carson's back, however that decision ends up playing out. I mean, you play the hand that you're dealt, and you play winning. You just try to play a winning hand, right? I mean, you make the most of everything you have, and when you're playing that hand, you believe you're going to win that hand. So that's just the way I feel. I believe we got a lot of, just to wear out we got a lot of good cards in the hand, right? So we just got to play them the right way, add a couple, draw, I'm not a poker expert here, do a blind draw or something, and, get a few extra cards, and then see if we can put together a winning hand.
Stability, though, is ideal.
Yeah, stability is ideal. Continuity is ideal. You can grow together. So so is there a side of it that you long for that? You hope you can get that, but that's just the hand we've been dealt so far. I think there's a lot of things in the evaluation process, right? How he played, every dynamic, right? It's complicated. It's complex. There's nobody's an island unto himself. It's the whole picture. So I'm actually I just went back again 2 days ago and watched a bunch of film again on him and other players, not just him. And every time you go back, you see new things. Good and bad and different. You go back and look at myself, good and bad, and in different kind of deals. So, right, the principle is, it'll be Mr. Irsay, Chris, and myself continuing, right? We each do our own evaluation, and then we circle up together a certain number of times, and we have really good dialogue. we'll have good we've had some meetings, we'll have more meetings, we'll have good dialogue. I'm sure there will be not every opinion will be the same, but the one thing that's true, it's always true, is that when you come out of that room, we're all together, right? And we believe in each other and we believe in what we're going to do.
Frank, you said that when you guys make the calls, to be on the same page. As of today, you have a different view as the head coach, and Chris is putting the roster together, and Jim's the owner. As of today, are you guys on the same page?
Well, I haven't sat down with Mr. Irsay in a while. I know I believe in Carson. I believe that, I believe in him. I stuck my neck out for him. I stuck my neck out for him. So, last year I was a big part of that decision to get him here, and so, I believe he's going to continue. I believe he's going to continue to have a lot of success at quarterback. That might be here. It might not be here. That decision has yet to be determined. So, but I still believe in the person. And I still believe in the player. Right? I mean, we're all in progress. I'm in progress. He's in progress. Every one of our players is in progress. You just don't want to get into that trap of taking a snapshot of any 1 week or 1 year. It's a bigger story than that, right? So the storyline is much bigger than one season. We've always had that perspective and will continue to.
Frank, the uncertainty in the public, I guess, doubt, are you worried about if Carson will be able to come back as quarterback?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I have a very direct answer for that. One thing I've seen over and over again is that if a player is back, generically any player, you play good football and there's nobody questioning anything, right? I mean, you win games. Can you come back? You be productive. You play good. Play well. Then you build confidence in yourself. You build confidence in the team. You build confidence in the fan base real quick in this league. I mean, this is fickle league in both the bad and the good. So it doesn't take much. We come back next year and we get off to the right start as a team. You get off to the right start as a player. Watch how fast everybody thinks, things are going great. So that can be a good thing. I don't think so. I mean, I think Carson has matured over the years. I've talked with him several times. Talked with him today. He was out west last week. Doing work, and so our conversation has been, without getting into total details, is he knows what's going on. He knows the evaluation process, that it's not just him but everybody. And so really, what's been said is, hey, here's what we do. We think positively. You can only assume the best, believe the best, think the best. Act the best, and in this business, until we're told different, that's just the way you approach it. You believe in yourself, you believe in the process, you believe in your team, you believe in your teammates, and you keep moving forward until you're given notice otherwise, and you believe the best. Yeah, haven't not a lot of thoughts yet, Kevin. Watched a little bit, done a little bit of homework. Coming in, with the defensive staff hiring, that's been basically a full-time job for about the better part of 2.5 weeks. So I've had a little chance to dive in on some tape, but we'll look forward to getting into that as we go.
But what's it say about him that, like you said, you stuck your neck out and everything from trading for him, but you guys still have that hesitancy about whether he's going to be a quarterback or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is I think that's just the way it played out. We didn't finish the season the way we should have. All of us, every one of us, players and coaches. So if we finish the season the way we're supposed to, we're probably not having this discussion. But that's just we have to take ownership of it. I do as the coach. Every player has to, and as I said, head coach and quarterback are under the most scrutiny. So we live with that and move forward.
Frank, we're going to be a couple of weeks into Carson's contract. But the nice thing about fully guaranteed is that once it ends up,
Envision a scenario where this decision will be made within these next couple of weeks.
I mean, that would certainly seem like a logical. That certainly seems logical. But I can tell you, I haven't had that specific, conversation with Chris. Our conversations that we've had are more about, just evaluating our team, evaluating our players. It's like when when we go into a game week by week, Chris and I might have a discussion. We'll talk about the team we're playing. He'll give me some thoughts he has about some of their players and how we might attack them, and we'll have these conversations. But when it comes to playing the game, I'll call the plays, and I'll do that stuff. When it comes to the roster moves, Chris and I talk a lot, but I don't try to nitpick and try to get in. Hey, what are you, what's your next step? What's your next phone call? Chris is one of the best in the league. So. When those decisions are made and the timing of those, we collaborate on everything as we go, but he's in charge of that stuff, and I'll follow his lead.
Guys, what you mentioned about Kano and Mike Mitchell, what will
Yeah, I mean, if Reggie, it mean a lot. I've been talking to Reggie about possibly, getting on staff for 4 years. I mean, Reggie is a guy who I have the utmost respect for. I'm just a big believer in him as a person and as a competitor, right? As a competitor, as a winner. And so if we can get that all locked up, I think it'll be a big deal. I think it hurts losing Coach Groh. We did what we did. Coach Groh wanted to make a move. We allowed him to make that move for some personal reasons that were good for his family. And but I'm excited about the prospect that, we take that final step with someone like Reggie, and think he'll bring a lot, not only to the individual receivers there about how to play the position, but also just a mentality, that championship mentality that we want to have to go forward.
He's never been a coach. He's intern, but it's a big step.
Yeah, it is a big step. There's a lot to learn, and he knows that. And he knows that, but he's a guy who's willing to put in the work. I know that. He knows that. We'll support him. But, the thing, when you make a decision like that, you say, why would you bring a guy who's got no coaching experience? Because some of those little, not to minimize those, but you can learn those. But, yeah, he has an upside into what he can bring to our team. That's what you bet on. You bet on that upside that he can bring.
I know you guys had a pretty thorough process in hiring defensive coordinators, so how much did you know about Gus Bradley before that process, and what kind of made him stand out?
I'd never met Gus before, but I knew a ton about him just because of my relationship with Nick Sirianni and Phillip Rivers, who were with Gus at length. And I used to kid those guys that I used to get jealous how much they used to talk about Gus, about what a great person and what a great coach he is. So, and I've seen that in the couple of weeks we've been together. This is a guy who totally fits our culture. I think he's going to bring a dynamic to our defense that is going to help us elevate. I think we've played some really good defensive football over the last 4 years, and I'm expecting that we'll continue to get better. I thought Nick did a phenomenal job, not a surprise, great coach, great ability, great offensive mind, great ability to connect with players, but still have a conviction and a belief about what's right and what's wrong and how you're going to win. Thought he did a great job, and the testament to that is, getting off to a slow start and being able to keep things under control and get it turned around. So talk to him, probably more by text than, maybe talk to him once a month, probably text once a week, but really close with Nick.
You kind of relish that role?
Yeah, I do, but it's a two-way street now. I mean, I make no bones. I've learned a lot. I've coached with Nick for 6 years, and I tell Nick all the time, that I learned a lot coaching with Nick. He's a good football coach, good person. We had a lot of great offensive sessions talking about how to attack defenses. What do you do in the passing game? I think that's been a two-way street, and really respect Nick from that regard.
We'll do two more. Passing game. Chris mentioned today, on offense, you got three studs, Hines, Taylor, and what's you think you'll push more to get some more weapons either in the draft or free agency this year? It's pretty clear that really fell off.
Yeah, really, like you said, Zach, really excited about those three players, three big-time playmakers that you mentioned there, in those guys. I do think we have other playmakers, but of course we're no doubt trying to add pieces, add weapons, add players, right? That's this time of year. That's what everybody's so excited about now. Who's going to be the next, Naheem Hines drafted, in the fourth round, or the Jonathan Taylor or Pittman, or whatever the position may be, a secondary player, a tight end, a receiver, playmaker. And when we start talking about playmaking, we talk about defensive line, we talk about everybody's a playmaker in some regard. But as far as skill guy goes, skilled players go, no doubt looking to continue to grow the room, make it very competitive. I do think we got some young guys who have some upside, who, given the opportunity, given another year, I expect one or more of those guys to really, by the end of the season, be like, "Ooh, wow, that we didn't even realize we had that." That's what I'm hoping happens, that there's at least one guy in that group that right now nobody's thinking is going to be a guy, and they become a legit guy.
Okay, last one here.
About your coaching trips throughout the branches and moving on, but then in your own department having to fill big roles.
Yeah, it's hard work, but it's work that I really like. There's a lot of good people and a lot of good coaches out there. So, I get excited when other guys get opportunities that they dreamed about getting, and happy for them and happy to play the small role in some of that, but also know that these guys have earned everything they have on their own, right, by what they do. But I kind of like the challenge of finding the next thing. Like on defense, this is a whole new shift. I mean, in some ways, there will be some carryover to what we do and how we play, and some philosophy and some mentality. But it's also a chance for a fresh start. As much as I respect Flus, and you guys know how much I respect him, and he earned everything that he got. But I just think, this will be a great opportunity for Gus to come in here with the defensive staff and bring a slightly different twist and how to use our defensive players to really elevate us, hopefully, to a top 5 defense.